Another amazing therapy in traditional Chinese medicine is called auricular therapy, or treating and diagnosing from the ear. Thousands of years ago, traditional Chinese physicians looked at the ear and sensed that there was something familiar about the ear shape. It looks like an upside down fetus in the womb. Here would be the head, the scapha, or the ridge of the ear, would be the spinal column. All the internal organs are tucked up inside in the cavum conchum and cavum cymbalum. And then the outside of the ear would be things like knees and toes and feet. Well, not only did they decide that the ear, since it looked like a human being, should be treated like the human being, but they developed a way to stimulate specific points in the ear. It wasn't until about 1950 when we started investigating the ear and found out that every single nerve in the entire body has a nerve ending in the ear. That is so cool. That means that the ear was the second organ to form. Right after the brain in fetal development, the ear formed. So the ear then became your living diary. If you have your gallbladder removed, for instance, where the point of the gallbladder is will now have a small indentation because it knows that the gallbladder is no longer there. How do you stimulate the ear? Well, we can stimulate it with vibration. We can stimulate it with lasers. But the best way, the ancient Chinese way, is to stimulate it with small seeds. So we have actually seeds that are on top by a small Band-Aid, a square little Band-Aid that holds these two little vicarious seeds. And vicarious seed has a little bit of an oily resin that's a little bit stimulatory to the ear as well. And I take off one of these little patches of seeds and I find the point that not only I diagnosed because of maybe vein or maybe a discoloration or maybe a swelling in the ear where the ear is actively telling me what's wrong. And then I'll put that little seed right on that point. And then now the patient's responsibility is to stimulate that acupuncture point on the ear 5-7 times a day at least, and just by pressing on it. And as they press on that seed, it's kind of like a pebble in the shoe a little bit. Yes, it hits a little bit of a nerve ending, but it actually is doing your therapy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you are in control of this specific therapy. I love auricular medicine. It's a peasant medicine, which means it's very, very inexpensive and very easy to do. It's been done in ancient China for thousands of years, and I'm sure it'll work for you as well.